When it comes to regular fantasy football, maybe you're a seasoned vet, but when it comes to best ball, are you struggling walking away with the big tournament winnings? Having trouble winning some leagues? Don't worry, in this video today, 10 tips to get you better at best ball. Now, we're not going to partner with Underdog here in 2023 and then not give you guys tips and tricks on how to get better in best ball, which is one of the main platforms there on Underdog Fantasy. If you don't have an account yet, now is the time to sign up for one using the promo code Headliners. Even if you make the minimum $10 deposit, we'll match your deposit all the way up to $100. We're going to give you a free 2023 fantasy football draft guide. You're going to get entered into a contest where I'm going to pick one lucky winner to win something from my office, and then we're dropping links all the time where you can join best ball leagues with us and every member of our team. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I got to make sure you're getting better. I got to get you the tips and the tricks, because honestly, what I want to come from this most of all is for you to start walking away with cash in your pockets and winning some of these big tournaments, and here's 10 tips to help you get there. Now, as a quick reminder, for a best ball league, you draft a team in the offseason and then you're pretty much done. There's no waivers, there's no trading, there's no setting lineups. The computer does that for you. Each week after the games are completed, they'll put your highest scoring players into their positions, and that will be your total for the week. You gotta score the most points on the season, and that's what best ball really is. But for tip number one, and these are in no specific order, is really clear your mindset of everything that you've known from redraft or dynasty leagues. This is completely different. You're really taking a look at a lot of things in redraft, right? You're trying to be a little bit safe at times, especially earlier on in the draft, trying to make sure you build a great overall team. In best ball, you gotta shoot for the upside, right? We're trying to find the guys that are gonna have the career type years, the big play potential that can really boost your overall lineup every single week, so you have a chance to be the league leader in points when the season's over. Which takes us into point number 2, you got ceiling is greater than floor. Now, a lot of times in normal fantasy, you're trying to find some of those guys that are going to get you that 10 points a week. That's cool, but not what you want in best ball. We're trying to find those guys going 20 plus. So when I'm drafting best ball rosters, I'm looking for those big play guys that can get you 10, 12, 15 fantasy points on one freaking play. The big time guys, the Tyreek Hills, the DK Metcalfs, the home run hitters in the backfield. That's what we're really looking for to try to build an overall roster. How about point number 3? You can't just play it safe, right? If you go into the mindset of, you know what, I'm just going to go for the safe plays all over to make sure that I have a good roster for 17 weeks. If you don't take risks on players, your team is not going to win. I'm going to be totally honest with you. If you just kick back and relax and take safety, enjoy 7th place, because that's more than likely what you're going to get. Be comfortable with taking some of those risks in these drafts. On to point number 4. How about taking advantage of others that are in your league that are nervous, right? They're going to pass on some guys because, oh, you know, I just don't want to take the risk on that guy. Take advantage of those scared drafters. There's going to be players who fall way below their ADP. For example, I've already seen a couple here this offseason early on. Mike Evans. People aren't even touching Mike Evans. Now, do I want Mike Evans to be my wide receiver 1? No. But in drafts right now, I'm getting him as my wide receiver 3, and that is definitely a gamble I will take. What about Alvin Kamara? Sure, he's got the legal issues. He could be suspended. But in times this year, I'm getting him as my running back 4 or 5 in drafts because people are so nervous. Take advantage of their scaredness, if that is a word right now, and use it as a benefit to building your team. On to point number 5 now. It's walking away with a high-end quarterback and a high-end tight end. There's not a lot of really high-end guys to go around. Sure, the quarterback position is super deep, but when you're looking for the guys that can get you those above and beyond numbers, there's like 5 guys. And then after that, it's a bunch of guys with similar point totals. We're trying to stand out. We're trying to draft guys that are going to give us that high ceiling. Does that mean that I'm drafting a quarterback in round 1? No. Round 2? Probably not. But in the likes of round 3, 4, and 5, if I can get my hands on one of those high-end, those high top-end guys, you better believe I'm going to do it. And the same for tight end. Now, one guy that I've seen that's really starting to fall in a lot of these drafts really is somebody who doesn't get a whole lot of credit. It's Dallas Goedert, because right now, hell yeah, I'm feeling pretty fancy. But if you miss on the guys like a Travis Kelce, we don't know what's going on with Mark Andrews. You know, George Kittle ended the season on fire. Does he really pick up where he left off? A lot of question marks at the tight end position, right? Dalton Schultz, maybe not even a Cowboy. Whatever it may be, there's some questions. So I'm trying to find that high-end tight end early if possible, and then back him up later on in the draft with a guy that has some sneaky upside like a Chigioko. But that will lead us into point number 6, which is stacking, right? 2 players on the same team at different positions. You don't want to overstack, right? I'm really a big fan of the double stack. Not so much of the triple stack or the quad stack or whatever the hell's after quad. Not that interested. And I'm not wanting more than just one stack on my team if I'm being completely honest. But after you've done your research and you find the guys that you really want to target in 2023, maybe this year, once again, you want to take a chance and really go with Jalen Hurts. That's your guy. Then I'm really trying to get an AJ Brown, a Devontae Smith, a Dallas Goedert if I can, to really pair up. Because if you really believe in Jalen Hurts having a good season, more than likely, one of those guys is probably going to be having a good season as well. The same can be said with a Kelce and Mahomes, a Herbert and maybe a Mike Williams or a Keenan Allen, something like that. Maybe you want to go quarterback, running back. Maybe you want to go a Herbert Eckler and really take up all the rushing yards and the passing. There's so many different ways to go about it. I love stacking. I don't force it, but if it happens and comes available, I will try to do it at least once per team. Which will then take us to point number 7. It's focusing on high-powered offenses and teams with below-average defenses, if that makes sense. When I'm looking for wide receivers, I'm looking at the teams that throw the ball the most, like the Chargers, the Vikings, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Jaguars even this year. That's where I'm focusing on because I know they're going to throw the ball more than anyone else in the NFL. How about running backs? I'm looking for teams that run a lot. Atlanta, Washington, Dallas, San Francisco, and then I'm trying to pair them, if at all possible, with bad defenses, right? The likes of Chicago, Atlanta, Las Vegas, Arizona even, because if they're trailing late, they're going to have to keep their foot on the pedal, they're going to have to continue to score points, and that's where garbage time points become available, and I love those when it comes to best ball. On to number 8, though. How about only trying to go after high-end handcuffs at the running back position? Now, a lot of times people will fill out their roster late in drafts with a bunch of guys that are just going to be meh, even if they get a chance. I'm trying to find the guys who are clear-cut number 1 guys that are going to get heavy volume if the number 1 guy goes down. Like in years past, we've known that Alexander Madison could be that guy. How about A.J. Dillon being that guy? Jamal Williams in Detroit if he goes back there. Jerick McKinnon, right? CEH absolutely tanked. Isaiah Pacheco started slow. We saw a lot of Jerick McKinnon late, and that really helped out a lot of best ball owners. Try to find those guys that have that solidified role in an offense where if they get the chance to be the only guy, you are going to be absolutely golden if an injury happens. On to number 9 now. In most cases, there's no need to draft 3 quarterbacks or 3 tight ends. Now, in 90% of the cases, if you're down to your 3rd quarterback or your 3rd tight end, you're probably not even in the running for the league anymore anyway. We need those high-end guys to stay healthy. That is the name of the game. So I'm not really paying that close of attention to getting a 3rd option at either one of those positions. Now, like I said, in most cases, really has to do with point number 10. Its bye weeks are a little bit more important in best ball than they are in your normal redraft or dynasty leagues. Why do I say that? There is no roster manipulation for the entire season. Sure, in redraft, I ignore bye weeks altogether because I'm trying to build the best team, and if I have one bad week and I go 16-1, I'm still pretty freaking happy. Not the case in best ball. If you only draft 2 quarterbacks and they both have a week 8 bye, you are in trouble and may tank your season because of 1 week. The same can be said for the tight end position. So I'm really paying close attention to bye weeks, but not just at those positions, it's at all of them. Now in underdog, you start 3 wide receivers and 2 running backs. What happens if you only draft 5 wide receivers total and 3 of them have a week 11 bye? You are screwed. So you gotta pay a little bit closer attention when it comes to best ball and bye weeks. Now, if you follow just these 10 tips, I guarantee you're going to be a better best ball player in 2023. Just a reminder, there's a link down below in the description. Sign up for a new Underdog Fantasy account. When you do so, use the promo code HEADLINERS. We'll match your deposit all the way up to $100. You'll get a free 2023 Fantasy Headliners draft guide, which will have you dominating every form and fashion of fantasy football this year. You'll get an entry ticket into a signed piece of memorabilia for my office, and you'll get to draft against us when you see those links drop here on YouTube. Looking forward to drafting with you, the community, and you get all that for just a $10 deposit. It's too good to be true. Looking forward to a lot of people walking away with a lot of cash prizes in 2023.